people hear stuff like this, like, yeah, right. But from like Get Out to a bunch of stuff that was prophesized to me like 5 years before it happened.
No way.
Yeah.
Sorry, you got to tell me more about that.
Well, this is crazy, right? I've only told this story maybe once. It was Carmichael Show. It was Rel. It was Get Out. It was
Code 3? Code 3.
Sure.
Hey there, it's me, Rainn Wilson, and I want to dig into the human experience. I want to have conversations about a spiritual revolution. Let's get deep with our favorite thinkers, friends, and entertainers about life, meaning, and idiocy. Welcome to the Soul Boom Podcast. Rel, welcome to Soul Boom.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you. You've been on Club Shay Shay. Now you're on Soul Boom.
Man, this is a night and day. Night and day. Like we have water, he has cognac.
We can get you some cognac.
No, it's fine. I actually prefer the water.
We were in this movie together, Code 3.
Yes, I'm excited about that.
Coming out September 12th. I'm going to ask you about that in a little bit, but we hung out on the set for a month shooting the film. But even so, like, I didn't really get to know you. So this is like my opportunity to get to know the real Rel. You know, you're going to sum up like 10 most important films that like shifted American consciousness. Get Out is on that list.
Yes, it is.
And how'd you end up in that film?
It's so weird because now, like, it's confusing me, right? Because, like, I saw Jordan do an interview after the movie's out every day. He's like, yeah, when I was writing it, I was picturing Rel. And I'm like, so why did I have to audition and do all that shit?
Audition 8 times. Yeah.
But
didn't Paige Kennedy audition for it? I think he told me he auditioned
probably
for
did.
it. Yeah.
When I was at the callback, I saw Tone Bell. Tone was there.
Okay.
But honestly, when I read it, I'm like, this sound like me. Like, if I don't book this shit, I can't act.
Yeah.
Like, this literally sound like my cadences. So I was like, if I don't book this.
It felt like it was written for you.
It felt like it. And so, you know, it's interesting that, like, he told me about it first at a party. He's like, yeah, I wrote this horror film. And I was like, oh, okay, brother, good luck. Right? Because, you know, Jordan wasn't known for that.
Sure.
So it didn't make sense. But then he started describing it, and he was so passionate. I'm like, you really a horror fan, ain't you? Because he was like comparing it to other horror films, like the very specific stuff. And I'm like, okay, brother. And then by the time I got like the side to go audition for Audition, and then I came in for the callback. And the callback, we did the scene that was actually taken out the movie. It was the scene where Daniel's character goes to jail, and I had to go visit him at the jail, you know, to see if he'd tell me what happened. But that's when he kind of
Did you shoot it, or was it cut before you shot it?
No, we shot it.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it. Is it on YouTube or
It's
something?
on YouTube, yeah.
Oh, okay. I got to check that out.
The original ending. And so that's how I booked the movie from the most dramatic part of it. He saw me do the funny stuff. And he's like, well, I need you to show me if you can do this. And he was there to call back, and that's what we read. And, you know, I was trying to get all my emotions together because that's an emotional scene. And I'm out there waiting on my Uber. And that's when Jordan walks out, and he's like, look, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but it's yours if you want it. I was like, hell yeah. He's like, I'm about to call your agent. But I'm like, you got 3 other people in there about to do the callback. He's like, and I just walked. I'll never forget that moment. I walked down the street for blocks, just literally just praising God. I'm not even lying. This is honest to God truth. And I didn't even know why. Like, I didn't know what this movie was going to be. It just I don't.
Like most $6 million horror films from a first-time director, no one ever sees. They never see the light of day.
And people throw that $6 million now. It really was like way less than that. They gave us more money for the reshoot. The reshoots is actually what made it, because after they saw the first, they're like, oh shit,
we got something. Yeah.
And so, you know, it was. We shot that shit so fast. It was my hiatus week from Carmichael Show. I went and did Get Out. So I remember I was pissed because I had to do the Steve Harvey show with the cast. It's like, damn, man, I ain't do the Steve Harvey show. But Get Out changed my life, so I mean, it is what it is.
And you're a hero to TSA officers everywhere. What's it like going in the airport for you? You're a rock star.
Not really. They still like they used to be like, oh man, okay, take your shoes off. It felt like I was more of a rock star, like outside of it, which was so weird. Like when I started seeing the memes where people had like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and me. Like, who would you want to save you? Me in my TSA uniform. And then all these superheroes was just so funny to me. And then even just that night, I'll never forget that night, the premiere. Like, nobody knew who I was when I showed up. Like, nobody really interviewed me.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, I was with my manager.
You go down the red carpet and then like Entertainment Tonight in Mexico City is the only one that wants to interview you. Like, hola, Rel.
But do you they try to look at the paper, you Rod? Yeah. But yeah. And
then you come out of the theater after the screening.
I'm just like, man, that was a good movie, right? You know how they have like the I guess the people that gave tickets away to come to the movies.
Right, yeah.
They bum rushed me. So security had to walk me to my car, right? With me and my manager, my publicist, and my
First time that happened to you.
And I was in the car like, what the fuck is gonna happen? Because I didn't even expect it. I just walked out the theater all willy-nilly, like, okay, that was cool. And it was, I'm like, whoa. And they had to walk me to my car.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be different.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what I remember talking to Jordan that night about it after the after party. We were just hanging out, which is when he told me about Nope and Us. He said 3 other movies. I don't remember.
So he has a bunch.
He already had.
Already had a bunch.
He
of
already
scripts.
had them in his head.
Wow. Yeah.
His brother is. Yeah. I mean, I'm so thankful. Like, you know how some actors try to stay away from the thing that made them the thing. Like, I don't want people. I don't give a damn.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Especially from the stand-up world. It's not a lot of stand-up comics that's been an Oscar nominated or Oscar winning movie because he did win for best original screenplay. So yeah, I mean, that's actually put me in a weird category of my own in the stand-up world because I don't know anybody else could say they've done that a couple times actually. Judas and the Black Messiah was nominated for Oscar too.
That's right. I love that film too. Great film. Yeah, I feel that same way about Dwight. What do I want sometimes people to see me in a different light and see the range of my abilities as an actor? Sure. But I'll do office screenings. I'll go to office fan events. Like I'll post about it. I'll still throw up, Dwight pictures on my Instagram and stuff like that. Like I don't want to. It gave me a career. Like I got to do a dozen movies because of Dwight.
To have a classic character. It is not normal. It doesn't happen all the time. It literally doesn't happen all the time. It's like you on a very short list of characters that people remember as, and then like even when the crazy thing about you is even re-airing episodes, the whole new fan base that comes with that.
Oh yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. The most intense, insane fans are right now. They're the 13 to 17-year-olds right now. Not the original folks that watch it. But now you've got generations watching. I meet people because the show finished over 10 years ago. So you have parents coming up with their 12-year-olds saying like, I watched it when it originally aired on NBC. We never missed an episode. And now we're watching it again with our 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old. And it's a family affair.
That's some Star Wars shit.
Yeah.
Okay? Like for real. Like
The
that
Office is the Star Wars of comedy, of sitcoms.
I would, hey brother, I would.
There you go.
I'm like serious. Like that's, people don't get like how like generational that is. That's so fucking cool.
And it's so interesting to me too. Like I've talked about it a little bit, but not on this show. Like they turned down the Dwight spinoff, The Farm. We did this backdoor pilot where we made an episode of The Office called The Farm, where you get to see Dwight on his beet farm bed and breakfast. And they were going to do a spinoff with Dwight. And the episode wasn't great. I'll give them that. But come on. Like, if they had made that show, like, they would have another $1 billion in the bank. That's a fact. Would it have been as good as The Office? No, it would not have been as good. Would it have been as good as, I don't know, Parks and Rec or, Brooklyn Nine-Nine or whatever? Like, maybe we would inch towards that. Those did very well.
Yeah, like the problem is we don't give anything a chance anymore. Like, if you remember in the 80s when they was doing pilots, and they just used to air the pilots to see if people liked it.
Yeah.
Like, stuff cannot be good for a season. and they give you another chance to
Right.
rewrite and figure it out.
Sure.
That's just not how it is now.
Yeah.
Like nothing, you just, because
Breaking Bad
easily
season
would have been that.
Breaking Bad season 1 was pretty good, but then it became one of the best shows ever. I mean, that's happened time and time again.
Seinfeld season 1 wasn't great.
Yeah.
At all.
That was hit and miss. Definitely. Yeah.
And then it just, like, we just do not have a chance to, like, you don't have time to.
Well, and now they're not making comedies anymore. There's a new sitcom my friend is a writer on called Leanne Morgan.
Yeah.
Who started stand-up in like her 30s or 40s after a divorce or something like that. Woman from Arkansas. Very funny.
She's funny, yeah.
And the show's good. You know, it's sweet. It's a little simple, a little obvious, multicam, but it's kind of like, oh, I miss those shows. A new comedy. Yeah. Come on. There's jokes and there's characters and there's some heart and there's a story that's told over like a 25-minute arc.
Yeah.
And they're not making them anymore. And they are literally, it's not even like they're not making them like they used to. They are not making them at all.
No. You can't even, it's so interesting. Like the only chance you had, like I just directed a pilot and my 14-year-old mentee, Malachi White, shout out to him. He wrote it, starred in it. Literally, I just wrapped on it a couple of days ago. And it was so funny and so amazing. But I'm like, dang, is this the only way to do it now is with a kid where you can get him with like at least 4 seasons of Nickelodeon until he turned 18?
Oh.
Because what they do, they keep rotating them kids out. So like we had a beautiful time where it's like, all right, check him out and give him the little, like and it was so much fun. It was so funny. And I just miss watching stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like as I was directed, and it's so funny, it's so good. Man, this kid wrote this himself. I gave it to him as a homework assignment, just thinking he was gonna do an outline. Because teenagers are lazy. And he wrote a full pilot, man. I was like, this ain't no Chat GPT, is it? And he's like, no. And it was really funny, and he performed.
What's it called?
Man. It's called The Mally White Show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His parents, the ones that helped me do the specials, the ones that funded this. They produced it. Amazing.
I want to go back to the growing up in the Black church. You always hear about the role the Black church plays in the community, the way the cohesiveness of it, that, families might be broken, but the church binds and provides, hot dishes being delivered when people are sick, and then the links, people really underplay and underestimate the role that the church played in the civil rights movement and with Martin Luther King, and how it was the networking through the church that got all the, the carpooling, you know what I mean? And the meals being delivered to the people marching. And
it's going to be so corny, kind of a little bit. This almost makes me emotional. And the reason it's so crazy.
I want it to go corny.
But Rainn, but for real, like I literally was watching the service yesterday, right? And this is weird that you're even bringing this up like this, because now you actually give me an opportunity to brag about my family.
I love it.
And how, like yesterday's service, they had two of the two of the women that are in the legislature in Texas that are kind of on the run.
Yeah.
They was at the church yesterday speaking.
Wow.
They was at the west side of Chicago. I was like, Uncle Marshall always find a way, because he's very involved politically and very involved in the community. That's how I grew up. Like the way I grew up, and this is why I'm so tied to like the people and community, is because of them. And that's why it's weird that we having this conversation, because I'm like, yo, I grew up in this family that was so involved in everything. The first march I went on was, we drove to Washington, D.C. This is during Desert Storm, because my cousin Wesley was in the war. My aunt Rhoda ended up on the cover of People magazine, holding a picture of my cousin. Like, my first march was like no blood for oil. That's what I was chanting as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where I come from.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I did that movie, Judas and the Black Messiah, I called Ryan Coogler. I said, bro, this is in the neighborhood I grew up at, is where Fred Hampton got killed. We used to walk past the house all the time. My dad be like, blah, blah, blah. This is what happened. This is who did it. This is what, it's like, that is my family.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of crazy that I can brag about, to me, one of the things people, and even just now, like all the game, if people watch me all these game shows from Wheel of Fortune to Family, I'm playing for an organization my cousin started, who's Pastor Hatch's, my uncle's son, where he's taking these young men and he's changing their lives. A lot of them grew up in the street, got in trouble. He's reforming them.
What's the name of it?
I'm always say it wrong because I always have to call the people.
If you want to take a pause and Google it.
Mafa, I know what it is, but I always pronounce it wrong.
Okay.
So the Mafa Redemption Project.
How do you?
Mafa. So it's M.
Not Mofo?
No, Mafa. It's an African like proverb name.
Okay.
So also at the church, because of this, they got these. They bought a Catholic church a long time ago. These Baptist people bought a Catholic church. That is how New Mount Pilgrim became New Mount Pilgrim. And they had these, those stained windows, those fancy Catholic windows. Pastor Hatch decided to dedicate the windows to, a lot of young people who were murdered, some by the police, you know what I mean? And he put them all in the window, the pictures of them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I come from this family. This is what we do constantly. It's not about money or anything. It's truly about community. Like we come from this lineage of everybody. Even my Aunt Rhoda, God rest her soul, when she went to Africa and came back, next thing you know, we had like these African services twice a year at church. We all dressed in dashikis and sang the songs they learned in Nigeria and all these different places. That's where I come from. I was literally, I'm not even lying to you, I was watching the service yesterday like, wow, I'm so thankful I come from this family.
One of the things I talk about in Soul Boom a lot is, the increasing mental health crisis, especially among young people, has dovetailed with a lot of things, right? It's dovetailed with social media, increase of, using our phones all the time. But also we talk about the kind of collapse of organized religion over the last 40 or 50 years, less and less churchgoers, less and less young people going to church. And I always say, have we thrown the spiritual baby out with the religious bathwater? Because a lot of people turn their back on organized religion for a lot of good reasons.
Great reasons,
right?
Actually, yeah.
At the same time, look what they're potentially losing, what a church like yours and your families and your uncles can do for a community. Educate, bind, take on marches to Washington, D.C., take in someone who went to Africa and like bring in other traditions, trying things. You've got the band, you're singing together, you're making music. Like, how everyone is on the block, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that hurting us on some level?
It hurts us on a lot of levels. I'm a man of faith, but, one of the things I've graduated to is that, like, maybe the way things were taught to me wasn't always right? And, I think about... And
you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, 100%. I believe, like, I'm on this beautiful journey of rereading the Bible from... I feel like I'm a wiser person now, but from my perspective, for real, let me really, without somebody telling me what this is, let me truly understand. I'm a smart guy. It's weird to me because I'm like, well, with everything else, I challenge it. I got opinions about, but when it comes to faith or religion, we like, well, I don't want to but that's what I believe. God wants us to challenge things and not just go with somebody else's saying, which honestly has built my relationship closer to God because I started challenging more stuff. Like even just going on this more beautiful route of who Jesus is. Like the way I read about Jesus now is hysterical because it's like Jesus sound way more realer than I was taught. You know what I mean? People most of the time make it feel like it's real fantasy-like. But when I'm rereading this, I see Jesus checking people more than anything. Like, fam, I didn't ask y'all to worship me.
Yeah.
I'm trying, like literally God brought me here to be an example so y'all can start serving God. Y'all keep trying to find other things to serve before God. And we've actually done that in Christianity, in my opinion, which, I mean, Christianity comes from Jesus Christ, but like, I don't believe Jesus wanted us to start a gang from his name. You know what I mean? Well, but we deal with humans, right? Everybody think they right. Because they think they right, they all start their own things, right? And like, I have this amazing group. I mean, hopefully I've had time tonight, but like, My Bible class group, this is a different group. We dive in. We go into some deep dives.
Is this like a Zoom kind of thing?
It's a Zoom, yeah. It started out with
some
just a
folks
few
in
of us.
Chicago and here?
Yeah, in different places.
Yeah.
And like, yo, the conversations are crazy. And I'm like, I love this group because I'm like, all right, y'all, here we go. Y'all know how I am. About to kind of blow your mind or irritate you. But I love, we all love God so much that, hey, it's okay if we have different ways of looking at it. And what I love about it is we got some historians in our group who does a great job of tying history with the Bible so we can make sense of some of this stuff. Because I think some things have been overly exaggerated. I joke about it all the time. Like when I think about David and Goliath, you know, I'm like, you know, they love to describe the Goliath as this like dinosaur giant person. But I'm like, it probably was like Shaq, but it wasn't no basketball that existed then. It wasn't no NFL. So like seeing these big dudes walk around.
It was
like,
The Rock.
Yes. Yeah. But if wrestling didn't exist and that's who we saw walking around, that would be frightening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially at that time, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So, you know, it's really interesting when you start. I mean, it's still a great, beautiful, amazing story of David, who David is, but it's making sense of things. It's like, it's little things like that where I'm like, all right, yeah. Like, I believe Jesus was like, I think it was Ezra who they brought for the dead. You know, people
Lazarus.
Lazarus. And, you know, people like, oh my God, Jesus had brought Lazarus from the dead. But I'm like, but what if Lazarus wasn't dead? And Jesus was like, I'm telling y'all, because Jesus never said he was dead. So it's like Jesus like gave him the Heimlich maneuver. Like, y'all gotta have some faith, man. Y'all about to bury this man alive. He's not dead. But when you think about it, none of those machines existed. You know, nobody knew how to check a pulse.
But also back in the Bible, you know, at the beginning of Matthew, Jesus talks about how the Bible is all metaphorical and how he's going to teach in simile. You know, he's going to teach in metaphor. He's going to teach in parable. And that the people with a higher level of understanding are going to get it, and other people are just going to hear it as a story. And then throughout the Bible, they're talking about like raising the dead. And he was dead. Let the dead bury their dead, bringing Lazarus up from the dead. But Jesus says about Lazarus at some point, and I'll get scolded because I don't exactly have this right, but he talks about how, you know, they're like, raise Lazarus so his brothers will accept God. And he says, it doesn't matter if I raise Lazarus, like they have to follow the prophets and the word of the prophets. They don't believe, they don't believe. And the idea of it's not like zombies and corpses, right? It's non-believers to believers, people who are just living as animals, living by bread alone, and then they're raised from the dead to see Jesus as the Christ. And
Jesus was teaching faith more than anything. That like truly, even when you read it now, and you know, I want to, because don't quote me on everything. Because I got notes and everything, so I write stuff down. Like, well, let me read my notes. But it's interesting to me. Like Jesus really was just like, look, y'all, I'm telling y'all to have faith, and that's what makes me look at life now, right? Like I move in a way where like, I love where I see things now. I'm not like overthinking. I'm not over panicking. You know, even if I'm a little irritated, just where I've graduated from probably the last year or so, it's like, oh, like it's not that. I can let's relax. It's literally gonna work itself out. It really is. Even the craziness.
Is that an age, wisdom, and maturity thing, or is that a faith thing?
I think it's both. I saw once again my Uncle Marshall, Pastor Hatch. He was teaching Bible class like a month ago. And he said something that blew my mind. It was just like, he's like, man, you know, I don't want for anything. God has provided me with everything. And I've heard people say it, but looking at him say it, he looked so like he meant it. He's like, I know billionaires, millionaires, all that stuff. I don't want any of the stuff they got. I don't even want for it because I feel...
He doesn't want Air One.
He don't want no Air One. He don't want no jewels. That's Chicago jewels. That's the Air One. But it's like he doesn't want for it. He's at some peace. And I remember I was watching it like, dang, is that because like in your late 60s, you kind of get to that place? And I remember praying after like, God, let me figure that out. I want to know what that feels like because that means I'm not chasing something. Like everything I receive from this point is just a part of being blessed. But I'm like, I think peace is so valuable. I think we underrate what that is. It's just to live a life of peace. And when you live in peace, that's when that wisdom really works itself.
Mm.
You know what I mean? That's when you kind of have these. I have answers for everything because I don't think I know everything. It's because I'm patient enough to wait it out and say, okay, all right, let's try this. You know, I'm in a very weird place where I'm like enjoying becoming the OG of my family. If you may say, like I'm actually enjoying that. Like, oh yeah, I'm about to become the OG. I'm about to be the wise person. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to give a quick shout out to our spiritual partners at the Fetzer Institute. They have just launched a brand new shiny website over at fetzer.org. That's FETZER.org. And it's full of spiritual tools for modern struggles, which is exactly what we're trying to cultivate here at Soul Boom. Fetzer believes that most of humanity's problems are spiritual at the root, and they're helping people plant some deeply soulful solutions. So I urge you to go poke around their new website, check out fetzer.org. Thank you, Fetzer Institute, for helping sponsor the show and all of the truly amazing work that you do over there. Fetzer.org, that's FETZER.org.
You know, people hear stuff like this, like, yeah, right, but like everything that's from like Get Out to a bunch of stuff that was prophesied to me like 5 years before it happened.
No way. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you got to tell me more about that.
So my mom had just passed. You know, I was still touring, doing stand-up. I was in a dark place, man. I was in a really dark place. I got into a fight at a club after one of my shows, and these guys tried to hit me with their car, but they just hit my ankle, and then I was on crutches on stage, and missed out on a big tour because of that craziness. I was just in a dark place. Like I was trying to find a way to something to replace the pain I felt, but I thought like physical pain would do it. Like I was trying to get into fights just to get punched. That's how much pain.
So the physical pain would override the
would.
mental.
I was hoping it did, but it didn't.
Yeah.
And we had just moved, me and my ex-wife at the time, and we had just had our second child. And I was looking for a barbershop, and I found a barbershop like right around the corner, and it was a female barber. And I was a little nervous, like, oh man, I don't know if this lady can cut my hair. But I went in there anyway, and she started cutting my hair. And I don't know if she could feel the sadness or whatever that was on me, or depression or whatever. But she was like, she's like, can I pray for you? And she did. And she invited me to, so at the time, Pastor Katara's church was at this business center in a hotel, like a little small little business.
And where was it? What town? It's in
Chicago.
It's also in Chicago?
But in the south suburbs.
Okay.
I come in there, I'm on crutches with a walking boot. Man, that first service, I mean, she prophesied to me. It was just like, that was crazy.
What did she say?
I can't remember everything exactly, but that first one was a lot. So I definitely can't remember that. It was just because it was everything I needed to hear. And then by the time we got to
but it was like, you're going to have great success.
I'm talking about meetings. This is before, if I could be honest, this is what I do know was a part of, not even just that one, but it was quite a few prophetic words I got from that. It was Carmichael Show. It was Rel. It was Get Out. It was
Code 3.
Sure. No, man. But it was just, you was going, and this is when I was just a stand-up in Chicago.
Yeah.
And so, it was interesting.
How much you making, like $100 a show?
Man, I was just hustling.
Yeah.
I was just, and I was a grinder too, but but the biggest moment I had from there, it wasn't just about the things that was coming. It was the moment I had. I've only told this story maybe once, and I tried to do a version of this when I had my sitcom. It's an episode I did dedicated to my mom where she comes back to talk to me. She's passed, but I'm in Bennigan's, and she's sitting there across from me, and that's when the conversation happens. That conversation did happen, but it happened at church. And we were praying, and I fell to my knees, and I remember closing my eyes, and it felt like everybody left the room. And then my mom sat right next to me. And then that's when she had the conversation with me about not feeling guilty about, because when she was sick, I had a hard time seeing her like that. And I remember like the last time she called me, I purposely went on the road to kind of avoid going to the hospital. My little brother would be there all the time. I couldn't deal with it. The first time I went with her to see her in the hospital, it was overwhelming to me. And I was like, I can't do this. And so I just like started just working like crazy. And she had left a voicemail for me. And the last time I saw her talk to me was at the hospital when she was taking her last breath after they took her off the machine, and she was just like asking me like, Terry, help me, I can't breathe, you know, whatever. But for the longest, I kept the voicemail. And then she also left a journal that didn't help none with me feeling bad because she had put in a journal like, man, you know, she called me Terry. Most of my family call me Terry. It's a little nickname. And she was like, well, Terry's like the one I could talk to the most. And I know he has a hard time seeing me like this. And you know what I'm saying? And she understood. But I felt so bad because she felt alone sometimes. And we had that relationship. We would talk about anything, especially by the time I became an adult. Me and my mother became friends, and that was cool. She loves that I did stand up, and she was excited. She would be excited about everything. She'd be excited about, damn, I ain't talked about this in a long time. So yeah, I was in church, and I closed my eyes, and we was praying, and it felt like everybody left the room. And she had told me how proud she was of me, and I could let it all go. She don't feel bad about. She understood, and just to move on, God got me, and just let all that anger go. I remember opening my eyes, and literally it felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. And then Pastor Guitar started prophesizing again and praying over me. But that's crazy. That was that first moment of that, and that you know, most people understand, like, we talk about prophecies and stuff like that, but like, if you get that word and it's kind of one ear out the other, or for the moment it feels good, I think what always helped me was like, if you gave me that word, I really believe, I received it and moved forward with that. I believe that's what's gonna happen, even if I don't know how it's gonna happen. So like every time I had a big moment in my career or my life, like the last special I did in Chicago, though not this last one, but the one before that at the Chicago Theater, you could watch it and see it. It's my last HBO special, but I'm standing there just looking, and literally for like 2 minutes while I'm getting a standing ovation, I saw my mother standing there. So I had those moments all the time. Sometimes even at like premieres, I had to like find a place to myself. People don't know why I'm walking away or maybe going to the bathroom. Just her smile will just come across. And that actually, you know, we talk about mental health. When I went through a second part of depression, like I got through that. And then the second part of it was I started hurting that I couldn't experience this with her. You know what I'm saying? And then that became like when I had the panic at the the panic attack on the stairs is when I ended up starting going to therapy.
Tell us more about the panic attack.
Was it Code 3?
My character had a panic attack in Code 3.
I know, but I'm trying to think when I had it. It might have been Code 3. I might have been shooting Code 3. And I was late one day, and nobody knew why I was late. I was like, you know, didn't feel well. I mean, they did break in my car one time after that happened. But it was the other time was it was that I had a panic attack on my stairs, and I didn't know why I was having. I never had one before.
Oh shit! Wow.
And my assistant at the time, April, kept saying, "Hey, you need to go to therapy, Rel." And I looked at her, I said, "Just give me the list." And I was sitting on my stairs, and just think about it, like, I have more money than I ever had. Everything was kind of dope. And I'm like having a panic attack for no reason. When I started going to therapy, I realized that I was in a really dark place about, you know, we're taking care of my dad now. And in a weird place where even though I grew up, both my parents, they're together the whole time, I was closer to my mother. So I almost kind of felt a certain way about him reaping the benefits off my success, and she didn't experience this. I couldn't help her same way. You know what I'm saying? Owning whatever me and my dad stuff is. Man, therapy was so beautiful, man. It opened up. It was things I didn't even know that was like a thing, or things I created and personas and all this stuff. And it took a couple years of therapy to deal with that, because I did get a little depressed about her not being present for these moments.
Yeah.
Like, she was just one of those random people, something you get used to, you just like, okay, mama, stop it. She was just always proud. I used to act like I didn't want that, but when it was gone, you know what I mean? When it was gone, to see her tearing up if she, saw me on a stand-up stage or a play. So it was, man, that became really tough. I had so many successful big moments where I literally had to go to the bathroom and just let it all out type of thing. And I still had those moments, but now the moments are not sad to me. It's just more joy, because it's like, I'm just happy that I took both of their sacrifices seriously.
You feel her presence? Do you connect with her still?
I can't even describe it, because I think I'm starting to do things like her. I mean, it's stuff I joke about on stage, about turning into your parents and stuff like that. And then, like, in the kids, it's little stuff they'll do that remind me of her. That's one of the hardest things. I mean, I guess anybody who lost a parent, and then even dealing with my dad has dementia, and that's getting tougher by the. I mean, at first I was walking around like I was strong. One of my homegirls was texting me yesterday that she's putting her dad in a home, and I'm like, well, we've been through that, and it's tough. But she was like, her dad said to her, he was mad at first and fighting, but then at some point he was like, son, thank you for taking care of me, and gave her a hug. And when she told me that, man, I got sad real quick. Because I'm like, dang, do dad know what we doing? Like, do he even realize what we doing?
Yeah.
Like, and my brother Matt, who take care of my dad he does the daily stuff. I just pretty much pay for stuff, but he does the daily. And they live with him now. And he does such a great job. He's the youngest, which is, beautiful to see, because he's the one we all had to take care of all the time. Because, the babies be doing whatever they want. But watching him be responsible with the family and the wife and the kid, and taking care of my dad, who, I mean, we got a dark sense of humor. Me and my brothers, so like, some of the stuff is funny, because it's just like sometimes he talk to us like we not his sons, but he be talking about his sons. My son's gonna come kick your asses. He's like, okay. It's us, but okay, brother. So we laugh at it, right? But when she said that, it was like, damn, that triggered something. Does he know what we're doing for him?
It's heartbreaking. Dementia, there's nothing more challenging than that. I did a show called Laughing Matters. Produced a documentary on comedians and mental health, and because it's such a fascinating intersection. It's pretty hard to find a stand-up or a comedy actor that doesn't have some real skeletons in the closet. I mean, to go up on stage, try and write jokes, get people to laugh, try and get some money out of that, and you have to do it, and you're driven to do it, and you do it for decades. Sometimes before you hit, you were doing it for a long time before you got Rod and Get Out, right? But I don't want to glorify it. I don't want to like make it like, oh, these, twisted, tortured souls, and they're drawing on their pain for their comedy. But there's a lot of truth to that at the same time.
Yeah, but it's funny you say that. I've had that conversation I had it with Charlamagne the God, actually. But once I started going to therapy, honestly, and like, even I look at my comedy, has always been more joy in it than anything. Man, what I love about comedy is I feel like comedy has saved my life, especially stand-up, because it keeps showing up in the darkest of moments. Me and Matt, my brother Matt, yeah, we say Matt is my brother. Like my brother Marcus, who's our middle brother, passed away from cancer also, right? In 2014. And that was tough. And like his last moments was just a tough, all of us is in the hospital room, my aunties, my cousins, me, we all like, because he gave me his instructions that he like, Rel, if I'm a vegetable man, just take me off the machine. I don't want to be. And that was tough because I had to argue with my dad about it at the time. Like he was like, no, I said, man, this is what he asked for, bro. And I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And his wife had to tell him like, well, this is what Marcus told me. He told Rel everything. You know what I'm saying? Like what he wanted. Which that one of the greatest last conversations I ever had with a person was with Marcus, my brother, was when he let me know that this. Well, okay, here we go. This is another deep spiritual thing. Before I went to the hospital to spend the night with him, God told me to tell him that this is it. That's what I heard. And I argued with God about it. I was like, God, I'm not saying that to him. That's just crazy. But he was like, you just let him know so he can let you know everything, how you want everything to go.
So you had God's voice, you had some inclination, intuition, and you knew it was God.
I know it's God's voice. Like it was too. I hear.
Did God sound like Morgan Freeman?
It's funny. This is so funny because everybody has a different version of what God sounds like. God doesn't sound like Morgan Freeman, but God sounds like, I believe, my grandfather, because it's like a cross between me, my uncle. It's like whatever the mature version of our voice, all of our voices are, that's what God sounds like.
It's like an ancestor voice almost.
Yes, that's what it sounds like. Yeah. That's what God sounds like.
Wow.
To me. So I believe if you're truly hearing God, because people always like, what do God sound like? God's gonna sound like whatever voice you like to listen to. That. So if Morgan Freeman your voice, that's what God gonna sound like. If Jim Carrey's your voice, that's what God. And so that's what I hear, and it's always very. It's in a soothing way, especially sometimes when I'm angry about it and I want to be right. God be like, no. It's like, here we go. And so I did. I had that conversation with Mark. And he was fighting. I ain't never seen anybody fight anything like he fought. He went and did all his own
And what
research.
did you say to him? You said like,
I said, look, man, I know you ain't going to hear this, but this is what God said to me, bro. This is gonna be it. He's like, no, because I even saw him arguing with the doctor before that too. Because he did all his research, right? Like Mark was like on it. Like it was kind of dope to watch. It was like, they couldn't tell him anything. He's like, no, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Dr. Google.
Man, he did. But you should do that. Why not? It's your body.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just let nobody just tell you what it is. But when it was like, this is it. You know what I'm saying? And we talked about, he fought it at first.
You said this is it, like next 24 hours, like God today.
I didn't put a time on it, but like this is your last leg. And so sat next to him in the bed, kind of like we used to share a bed back in the day, and just laid there with him. Man, we just talked about it, and we was always butting heads because we was so close. People used to think he was the oldest because he looked cooler and he had like facial hair first, and he had that whole different type of swag. But man, it was such an honest conversation. We talked about so much and just like, but he just told me how proud of me he was. It's like, just looked up to me. It's like, man, you really went after your dreams. And you don't know if everybody noticing when you do that thing, that go after your dreams thing, especially something nobody else in the family has ever done before. You know what I'm saying? I let him know that. And, one of the requests was, if I'm a vegetable, bro, I do not want to just be laying there. Take me off that machine. I don't care. I know everybody gonna, because selfishly, people want to keep people. Yeah. And he was like, I don't want that. I don't want to be just laying there and y'all looking at me. Yeah. If I ain't talking, take me off the machine. Now, if I miraculously come back, cool. If not, it is what it is. And we took him off the machine, flat line. Everybody's crying. I mean, we are like all like hurt. But then comedy shows up. So me and my brother like got our head down. Me and Matt sitting next to each other, crying, comforting each other. And we start hearing my cousin and my auntie argue. I ain't gonna even say who it is because I don't feel like dealing with that. But man, they started arguing when I tell you it was the funniest shit. Like I feel like Mark smirked a little bit. Like we said, and me and Matt laughing about that.
About
too.
something like really
Just
minor, like
They both crying, they both hurt. My cousin doing way too much shit. She's like grabbing the curtain and she about to knock shit down, and then they're knocking him down. She on the body. It's like, what the fuck you doing? And my aunt's like, get off her top. So they do this. They have this little weird, because you know how you got some like parenting group, like parent, daughter, they almost like roommates, so the way they talk to each other is like these little, man, they was arguing. It was so fucking funny. It was so funny. The only time I ever did that on stage was that night. I went on stage that night.
Whoa.
And I remember the crowd didn't know where the fuck I was going with this shit. Man, I started telling that story and reenacting it. It was people in tears laughing. And the only time I did that bit, because it was fresh in my head, because it had just happened. It was so funny. But comedy just shows, like I don't think you have to take the dark, depressive journey of comedy. Find the healing of comedy. And I've had way more people walk up to me and tell me that me making them laugh have, like, man, their mom was, in the hospital. Like, man, you made them smile. Like, that's what it's about. And so, like, I mean, I get tears of a clown because that do exist. But for me, I don't have the depressing approach to it. This shit is healing. Laughter is healing.
And I like you saying about joy, too. You try and bring joy through yourself to the audience.
Yeah.
In the stories you tell. And
yeah. It's so beautiful, that power to have. To just make people's day and their night, or this may get them through the rest of the week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I love that shit.
I feel the same way about The Office. I talk about it all the time, but I run into people all the time, and I can't believe it. They're just like, my mom was dying of cancer, but that scene when you like threw the watermelon off the roof, like we would watch it over and over. I was like, man, I shot that 15 years ago, and we shot it in like an hour and a half, and it was hot, and I was kind of in a bad mood, and I had no idea that all the stuff that we did on that show would have such resonance and have such long-lasting power to heal and to bring joy.
Comedy is, to me, one of the most underappreciated arts in our business. You know what I mean? Like, we don't.
Comedy actors do not get the respect that dramatic actors get from the Oscars, the awards, the audience, casting, producers, what have you.
It's harder to make a large group of people laugh at the same shit. And if you're able to pull that off, that is a big deal. Drama, you could kind of sell, you know what I mean? Somebody crying and all that stuff, or some dark or some but making a lot of people laugh is not easy. That's why I don't care what nobody say. Eddie Murphy should have won an Oscar for Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor?
Yes.
Nutty Professor?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other Eddie Murphy movies. I would not put Nutty Professor.
I'm glad you said that. Watch it.
Okay.
Last Eddie Murphy interview, he talks about which movie shows all of his range.
Yeah.
He says it's Nutty Professor. And I was like, brother, I've been telling people that.
Yeah.
Eddie ain't never talked.
Yeah.
I've always thought that
more than Beverly Hills Cop.
Way more, because this thing about it, first of all, he's having conversations with himself.
Yeah.
Which is insane. They're all different, right?
Yeah.
He's able, with Sherman, we got like, it was at one point you felt bad, like heartbroken for Sherman. And he was able to sell Sherman looking sad. You remember Sherman was like, after he just got talked about the comedy club, and he walked J.D. Pickett to the door and it's rain outside, and then he takes the thing down and just let the rain hit him. Damn, that was sad. And then when he got up to the argument at the end of the movie with Buddy Love and him standing up for himself, do you know how crazy that is, that this brother in one energetic scene had an argument with himself as two, and that was, I'm like, what is acting?
Yeah.
That ain't best actor?
That's a good point. You make a good point. That's a damn good point. We've got a Substack. If you love the Soul Boom podcast, you're going to want to get our weekly newsletter Substack sent to your inbox. A lot of them delve into the ideas around the podcasts that we're doing that week. So sign up, please subscribe. Go to soulboom.substack.com. Thank you. You've talked a little bit about mental health issues. You've been in some dark places. You've had some panic attacks, anxiety attacks. You've
done dumb stuff because of not being in a good place. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, getting into fights, and that comedy kind of saved you. So is it both things that like it came out of those cracks and it brought you healing? How does it work exactly?
It's like it was a little bit of both. Cause like I think about like my material, the stuff I first talked about was like with me, talking about my family. Like I just had my really close friends to my house yesterday and my roommates. We were roommates when I first started, these guys, two other guys. And I didn't talk about my family on stage. I would just tell them these stories to them. We'd be on road trips and I was just doing my jokes. And it was like, dude, why are you not doing this shit on stage? Like, your jokes is okay, but like this shit is hysterical. You keep telling us all these fucking stories about your family.
Yeah.
And they called me chicken about it one day. That changed the trajectory of my career, was when I decided to start talking about all the more personal things. And it changed everything just because they called me a punk in a car one day on our way to one of those colleges. But I had my set. They like, dude, this shit is okay. Like, these stories are fucking hysterical. Why are you not doing this on stage? And that is interesting because some of those, like, joking about some very poor moments and things like that became hysterical, but I didn't realize those were like dark things until people would bring it up to me like, damn, that's dark. I'm like, it is? To us, it was just life. And that's the thing too. If it's just life to me, and once again, until I went to therapy, it's so many dark things that I normalize. Like I normalized like losing a classmate every year to like gun violence.
Whoa.
That was a regular thing to me. It wasn't like it wasn't a thing. I was like every year seeing somebody, 2 or 3 people at the end of our yearbook, rest in peace. I was like, all right, well.
Yeah.
It was not like that, but it was normal to me until I went to therapy.
That
and my
didn't happen in suburban Seattle, I'll tell you that.
Well, it was a regular thing in Chicago. And I didn't realize how like I normalized that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, dang, wait, Maurice was 14, blah, 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 was 15. Like, that ain't normal.
No.
In a weird way it was, which is why like for a long time, man, I didn't know. I remember when I turned 21, it was way more of a celebration than you could think of it. Because I wasn't sure. I lost so many people before that.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, am I gonna make it to 21? And I'm talking about innocent people.
Yeah.
Innocent kids.
Successfully making it out of your teenage years is like an accomplishment.
Just living. Yeah. You're like, I'm alive.
Yeah.
I don't like to glorify that, but that's just the honest to God truth, man. And I grew up with a great family, but my neighborhood was still my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Like when you see 2 tragedies at one, like when O'Brien killed Terrell, that was crazy to us. Terrell was like a star student, and he was about to go to high school. We both the same age. We went to probably the same male summer school, high school together, and then him being killed by O'Brien, who I grew up with too. And it was 2 deaths because O'Brien murdered somebody, so O'Brien's going to jail forever. Man, I think about this stuff now at 45, and it's sad to me more than it did then. Then I was hurt, but it was just like,
yeah. How do you process that at 14 or 15?
With a group. I know that might sound crazy, but if all of us are going through the same thing, the neighborhood, your friends, you kind of just move on from it. But then you keep seeing, that's why, man, that Crossroads video, Bone Thugs-n-Harmony Crossroads, when people start disappearing, even just the end of Boys in the Hood, and Ice Cube character cross the street and he disappears. That was it's like, I remember when everybody literally started joining gangs. I'd never forget that summer. We were all kids one summer, and that next summer,
whoa.
It was just like, oh shit, this is different. And luckily we had our dad.
Why was it like that summer? What was happening then?
It was like an age thing. And then we talking about the 90s, like when gangbanging really took it to another level. And so, Cat, she was playing basketball in the alley. We built our own crates in the alley. I literally built a league, a crate basketball league. I had to wrote the teams down. I had the standings. I was writing this stuff down manually. And then, when the Black Disciples started recruiting people, man, I remember me and Matt was just talking about this, like, dang, yo, you remember it changed everything. Like people you were like best friends with, you couldn't really hang with no more.
Mm.
And now they selling dope. Now they doing this, doing that. And I know, like, we hear these stories, and it's just sometimes over glorified. But I don't talk about it much just because it's like I don't want to glorify it. But it happened, and it was sad. It was very sad. But I was lucky because I had both of my parents, and I was in the church most of the time. But even some of those kids at some point.
Now you give back to your neighborhood in so many ways, but tell me about the What's Funny Comedy Festival, because this is incredible that you've started a comedy festival in your hood.
Yeah, and Chicago to me is a mecca of comedy. Like I think we talking about improv, stand up.
Sure.
There's so many great
Second City, yeah.
The people that's produced from that. And then like even just from like it's funny, you go to the north side, Second City, you go to the south side, the west side, it's Bernie Mac, it's all those guys, like, I guess me now. But it's like, so to come back home with this festival has been a joy like that. The first year we did it last year, I've done a lot, man, but that was the happiest I was. Like to see comics
Was last year the first year?
Was the first year.
And this year's the second year?
The second year.
And tell me the dates. It's September
14th to the 21st.
Okay.
Well, we're going to probably start a little earlier because we're going to do, some screenings hopefully. So September 12th to the 21st. But yeah, it's man, it was beautiful. It was funny and it was crazy because I didn't perform until the last show. I taped my special, which I just sold, which I had a whole game plan for, and I'll talk about that once we get announced who I sold it to. But it was all a plan. It was like, like to close the festival out, me taping my special independently. With two members from our church who helped put the money up with me.
Oh.
And I mentor their son. Like it's so crazy how all that worked itself out. And then it was just so incredible. It was one of the
How many theaters is it at or clubs?
It's at a bunch of clubs. So last year we did maybe 10 clubs, over 65 comedians.
And you bring in 65.
Yeah.
A lot of them local, but you bring in a lot too.
It was really more or
You
less.
call in a lot of favors from?
Not really. The first year I did, Sherry Shepard was my favorite. My boy LeVar Walker was. It was a couple of favors I called in, but most of it was just comics submitting. And this year they really submitted from all over the country.
What do you hope to do with the What's Funny Comedy Festival in Chicago?
One of the biggest things, and we try to stay away from saying this, but this is the truth about it, is showing up for Black and brown comedians.
Yeah.
These other festivals, I'm not saying they don't do that, but then like they do very specific things. They're like, this the urban show and da-da-da-da-da.
Right,
and
right.
I got tired of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if we're the focus and we don't have to say that?
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to. Yeah, so yes, I did that without announcing that because I do love all comedians, but I did see that it was always kind of like we would get the crumbs of these festivals if they want to admit to it or not. But it's the truth.
Yeah.
It would be a handful of us that may get some of the things, but we had to like book and do a bunch of other things to even get that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So and that's just the truth. So that was one of the things. And then like, I started leaning into this place where like, I love and know comedy. I need to put myself in an executive position. We need to have more people who know and love this shit to be in positions to greenlight things and create opportunities because we know this shit. It's nothing like being in a room with somebody who never wrote a joke before, who never even wrote a comedy script, anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they like, this is funny. And it's like, the fuck? So it's like, I said, I wanted to position myself better. Like, okay, let me start positioning myself. And the festival kicked that off. And then from there, I was able to direct the movie and then directing a pilot and producing a bunch of other stuff. Like, I want to have my hand in comedy. And then I want to find and create the opportunities. Like, for what this situation is with my special, I'm the guinea pig for it. But I'm hoping it does well like it should. And it will open doors so I can grab all these comics who are just funny and deserving of the opportunity. It's not because they got a bunch of followers or they have this and that. They're just fucking funny. Mm-hmm. And we make stars again. Really produce stars.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that's
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. For folks who want to check it out, is there Is there a website?
Yes, www.whatsfunnycomedyfestival.
Thanks for the WW. Thanks.
I don't know. I
didn't know that.
Well, but
Really?
Right. You're smart.
I'm very smart.
Most people you ever post something and you get a question where you like, the information is literally, it's right, it's on the flyer. It says it. This is the phone number.
Yeah.
To call for tickets. Yeah. Why are you asking me? So what's the phone number to call for tickets? It's right there.
All right, starting at www. World Wide Web. Okay.
www.whatsfunnycomedyfestival.com.
All right, whatsfunnycomedyfestival.com. That's amazing. So Code 3, this was cool.
Yes, it was.
I just wanted to talk to you about the movie because we didn't get to really talk about it. I mean, I didn't know you. We both, I was involved from the very beginning. I got sent a 180-page version of the script and I saw the potential and I was like, we need to cut it down. We can make it funnier and we can make it hit harder and more biting. I was always about like your character, like we've got to have other levels to Mike. He can't just be the sidekick. You know, we've got to make him, this is a co-lead kind of movie. Man, it turned out pretty damn great.
She's been having a little trouble breathing lately.
Define lately.
All of the shit you're about to see happened to a real, actual paramedic. Me.
So long, fuckers!
All we want to do is save your life. Some of you don't make it easy.
Get out of my house! Gun!
I ain't know you can run that fucking fast.
Can you feel the
$20 and he's gonna be butt ass naked.
Out there you have it. It's a draw.
I can see his dick. That qualifies.
I wouldn't sit there if I were you. Welcome to EMS.
Man, it's a good movie, bro. I really enjoyed this movie. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, I had fun doing it, but when I watched it come together, man, it's so good. And I think, you know something, because I don't know if we've ever seen something that felt a little more, even though it's comedic, honest about what an EMT experience is. It's really from this, not this, you know, because a lot of times they glorify, we did a good job of like, yeah, but they're very underpaid. And I think that was so important to really hone in on that before you get to everything that happens within the movie.
Yeah. These are the people, these EMTs, frontline workers, that we entrust with saving our lives. These are the people that we entrust with our children, our babies, our grandmothers, and they're getting minimum wage, essentially. They're getting $20 an hour and working 12-hour shifts, and they have to take shit like nobody's business.
From everybody.
From the customers, from their management, from the ambulance companies, to the hospital medical association, the doctors, the cops. Yeah. They get it from all sides. But they are the real heroes. And I love that about Code 3. Like I've rarely, if ever, done a movie that was, it's funny. So if you want to just go and enjoy the comedy of it, great.
Yeah.
Show up. It's a funny movie. You and me have a great chemistry. You'll laugh. You'll definitely laugh. There's some dramatic moments that'll also kick you in the teeth, but it's also about something. And what a pleasure, what an honor, what a privilege it is to be in a movie that really kind of shines a laser beam onto the American healthcare system.
I mean, well-written characters too, man. And like, what I love about your character more than anything is watching him go through all these different emotions, like of quitting what's just natural to him, even like he's at the other job and he's, you know, it's really fascinating to me. Like, you know, I actually got so much, you just don't know, like more respect for EMT workers. Like it's like, how do they come up with the pay scale who gets what? Because they're the ones, honestly, they're like, outside of just saving lives, they have to have therapist energy.
Yeah.
To deal with people and to calm them down and to calm situations down.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Mike goes through that, right? Where, you know, he runs into a situation where he has to kind of calm parties down, which is why that scene was so emotional for me, because it's like,
And for those who don't know, he's talking about the scene where we're called to kind of save this guy who's having a psychotic episode. He calls himself Mr. President. Big black guy, kind of like throwing a fit, throwing furniture, but he's not really a danger. He's just having an episode. He needs to be brought in. He needs to be medicated. He's gone off his meds, what have you. He ran out of his meds in this case. That deals with the insurance part of it as well. And then the cops show up, and you just at the wrong place at the wrong time, they roll up. And one of the most powerful scenes in the movie, Rel's character, Mike, is having to navigate Mr. President, this 6'8" guy having a psychotic episode, and the cops who have their guns drawn. And all of these events happened to the co-writer of the screenplay, Patrick.
Patrick.
And based on, actual real life paramedic experiences. So, and that scene was devastating. But go on, tell me more.
Yeah, it was a heavy one to do too. Like, because like for me, with anything I do, I try to do my best if I can. I kind of become the characters as long as I can do something. I try to stay in it. And so I do that so I can invest into things emotionally. And that one, like, I had to take a walk and call my lady, like, yo, I didn't just cry with it, because I thought about so many people who may not got the patience they deserved, from officers or from, and so that was heartbreaking, because you wish it was a mic somewhere for Elijah McClain, like a mic would have been there. Or if it was a paramedic there, like who really would have said something to these cops and checked them, like, what y'all doing is messed up. It's been situations like that. And so for me, I wanted to represent, to me, the example of somebody actually doing it.
Yeah. It's a powerful scene. And
man.
And there's some funny ass scenes too.
It's hysterical.
And you get vomited on. What was that like?
Oh man. Well, anytime it's like vomit, fake or real, it's gonna make me vomit. So like me dry heaving, that ain't like me acting. That's a thing.
You had that. You had that response. To do, like if that has happened, I don't give a damn where we are. I'm going. You gonna hit me?
Yeah. It was. I mean, Amy's great in it. Yvette's great in it.
Rob Riggle.
Oh, Rob.
Is the asshole doctor?
I love Rob.
Yeah.
And he's giving you so much shit. It's so funny.
Yeah. But and what a privilege to get to do a movie that also isn't just dumped onto a streamer. We're getting a real live theatrical release.
Yeah.
Not in a whole ton of theaters, but September 12th, I think, is coming out.
September 12th. And you just hope it becomes one of those like I love reading about those like movies that are not in a lot of theaters, but people go find it.
Yeah.
I believe that is what this is going to be. Yeah. It is it feels like it could turn into a word of mouth thing.
Yeah.
And, it goes to theaters, and then, I honestly hope, outside of just, video on demand, but like finding a nice home for something like this where somebody can find it would be great too.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in some really good movies, and I've never been in one that's tested as high as this movie too. Like, audiences love it. The screenings.
Look, now I'm not trying to knock on wood, but the first time I saw Get Out, that is what Code 3 made me feel like. So the first time I saw Get Out, they sent it to me early because we was doing reshoots, and I closed my laptop and I was like, is this movie good because I'm in it?
Or is it really good?
Is it really good?
Yeah.
And so watching Code 3, that's what I felt like. Damn, am I too personally? I mean, this is really good, right?
Yeah.
It's only happened a couple times.
We got to get people out into theaters. This is a big problem in show business. There's a lot going on right now for folks where curious about this. Ever since COVID, people aren't going into movie theaters and buying tickets as much. And we want to encourage that however we can, whatever movie we can. I always like to go opening weekend to films I'm excited about. I just saw Weapons this last weekend.
How is that?
I loved it.
Can't wait to see
I
it.
loved it.
Okay.
It is disturbing as fuck, but it's so original. It's so unique. The filmmaker really knows what he's doing. I had a great time. I loved it.
Well,
especially the ending.
It's happening. This gonna be my evening watch.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, and then hopefully it'll get out there one way or another, and people will see it. But it was an honor to do it with you, and I loved Randy and Mike together, and we got a little bit of Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor kind of thing going on.
We got Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor, a little Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy,
A little bit, yeah.
little Jackie Chan. No, I'm just playing. just make it up like that. Just find a combo.
Who else acted with a funny black guy? Anyway, tell me about Haunted Heist.
Yes.
You wrote and directed that?
Well, I directed it.
Okay.
It was written by Carl Reed, but man, great collaboration. He let me kind of like, but he let me put my comedy.
Your spin on it, yeah. And what's it about? It's coming out in October, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, it's about a group of friends who, show up at this house that potentially could be something that changes all their lives if they find something that's in there. But as they're in there, they get a big surprise from some visitors that are there that may not be human.
Okay.
And so, but it's so funny. You got Tiffany Haddish in it.
She's amazing.
My good friend, King Batch, Andrew Batchelor,
Yeah.
Carlos Miller from the 85 South Show crew. It's just a gang of comics. And that was actually a part of my weird thing of watching movies, and I miss having seen a gang of comedians in it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
let's cast some comics, like people that do stand up that can act too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did with this. So, you got some local guys from Detroit that are hysterical in it. My homegirl, Tyra Terry from Chicago, who's open for me. She's great at it. It's just, shout out to Keisha Tony Baker, who's very funny in it. So, man, it was...
So I guess you didn't need any middle-aged white guys in your film, huh?
Damn. I did cast a middle-aged white guy. Shout out to Brett.
One of the things we ask every guest on the show is the definition of the word soul. How would you define soul?
Soul. That's a tough one. The reason is because there's so many different ways to define soul, just because of everything soul has been attached to in my life. From one of my favorite shows, Soul Train. The Soul Man himself, James Brown. One of the funniest movies ever seen was Samuel L. Jackson and Bernie Mac, Soul Men.
I never even heard of that one.
You never seen Soul Man?
I never seen Soul Man. No. Bernie Mac?
Bernie Mac is Samuel L. Jackson?
No. Never seen that. Well, that's what I'm watching tonight.
Man, that shit is so fucking funny. You never seen that?
I never see it.
Samuel L. Jackson got braids in it.
Yeah.
They were in a music group with John Legend, who ended up dying.
Okay.
And they came back together. Okay, watch. Oh man, I can't wait for you to see that. That's such a fucking funny movie.
Okay. You got it.
So what does soul
Yeah, get
mean?
to the definition.
I feel like soul is something you need to have. that sounds crazy, but I think a lot of people who, people that's in charge of things, they don't have a soul. Because I believe you don't have a soul, that's how you're able to do the most evilest things. So to me, soul is having something that's inside of you that to me kind of feels like it comes with empathy. All right, whatever my weird definition is, that's it.
That's good. I like it.
Yeah,
I do like that.
that's my soul.
I think there are people that are missing. I wouldn't say they don't have a soul, but they don't have soul in what they do. And those are the people that really make the world a worse place.
That's real.
Yeah. Connection, empathy, humanity, artistry, creativity. So, fuck them.
The Soul Boom Podcast. Subscribe now on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you get your stupid podcasts.